Hello MBA aspirants, in this video we shall appreciate the 15 don'ts in an MBA interview. Number 1, don't be late. Make sure you are on time for the interview. One core skill for any kind of a management job is punctuality. So if you falter on this basic requirement, you will not be able to create a favorable impression on the panelist. So be on time and don't get late on that day. Number 2, don't walk in with the file held in awkward ways. We have seen students walking in different ways. There are students who hold the file in a way which is like parallel to the plane of the body, which indicates that you are being defensive, you are nervous, you are holding on to the file. It is not just a file, it's a support system for you. There are people who hold the file in a way which is perpendicular to the plane of the body, which indicates that you are vulnerable, that you are not keeping your self-respect intact and you are open to just any question, which is not how it should be. There are people who hold the file in a very casual way, which looks that you are indifferent to the whole process. So there is a way of carrying in the file. We typically suggest that you treat the file like an inclined plane, which will indicate that yes, the file has been with you all this while. It is something which you have earned over the years, your credentials, your qualifications, and today you shall grant permission to the panel to refer to it. So you have to strike a balance between being accessible and upholding your self-esteem, your self-respect. Number 3, don't be arrogant, over-aggressive or vain. Arrogance is indicated in different ways. It may be the attitude which you are showcasing. It may be your inability to receive what the panel is saying. It may be indicated in your behavior. All these are incorrect signals for the panel. Do not create any such vibes. Arrogance is not at all a desirable trait. We do understand that confidence is the positive connotation, and the fact that you have to walk a very, very narrow line when it comes to arrogance versus confidence. Aggression is also something which you have to tame, whereas we recommend that you should be assertive. Your voice should be such that it is convincing, it is persuasive, but aggressive, being over-aggressive is something which goes against you, and vain would mean that you're not sure about what you're saying. And typically questions like what are your career goals, and when you just say something which is generic or which is not clear, the panel will hold it against you. Number 4, don't show a lack of attention or energy. Attention is indicative of your focus, your ability to concentrate on a particular task. So the minute you are deviating from this basic requirement, you will be in the unsafe zone. Similarly, energy is perceived to be capacity for work. So if your energy levels are not intact, if you are sitting in front of them in such a way that your shoulders are dropped down and your body language is not positive, all this will be an indication of lack of energy. Number 5, don't make excuses for adverse conditions in your record, such as below average marks. Now, many a times we have seen students coming up with all kinds of excuses, blaming the entire education system, not being able to hold what they have done in their academic career, and passing on the blame to so many different entities. So we suggest that if there has been a problem in your academic record, you have to own it up. You have to find reasons as to why that happened, and you should be confident enough to share those reasons with the panel. Do not create stories which are sympathy evoking. The panel will not buy them. However, if there has been any untoward incident and you have a certificate which supports it, a medical ailment or a medical emergency, then there is no harm in sharing the same with the panel. Number 6, don't condemn past institutions of education. Keep comments positive. Now, your learning is a function of various institutions you've been a part of. Whenever they ask you questions which you are not sure in terms of answering, you cannot put the blame onto an institution. You can't tell them that we never covered this part in our syllabus. They will not ask something which is vague. They are there to assess you, not to scare you away. So you have to understand that you are a brand ambassador of the institution you've been a part of, and you are seeking admission to an institution. So if you are not confident to carry the previous institutions you've been a part of, what guarantee will you give the panel that you would be a brand ambassador for their business school? So you have to be positive about all the institutions you've been a part of. You have to respect the education system and come across as a positive candidate. Number 7, don't be uncertain and indecisive in your thoughts. Now, this is indicative of lack of clarity. When they ask you questions which require clarity, focus, and concentration, you need to come across as a candidate who has a grip on his or her career plans, who has an understanding of whatever has happened in the past, who can relate the past with the present, and who has a plan for the future. So you are supposed to be confident with respect to how your MBA is going to help you in the achievement of your career goals. You have to be confident as to why you pursued a particular graduation stream. You have to be confident with respect to how you have evolved as a student, as somebody who's open to learning. So indecisiveness is something which they don't like. When they ask you questions like, which function of management would you like to specialize in? Now you can't say, I'm not sure about this right now. Or there are people who say, sir, I have not decided as yet, but I will be open to all the functions of management in the first year, and then I will take an informed decision. Now this comes across as an escape mechanism. You have to be clear as to why you are pursuing management, which function of management you want to get into. Right? So you have to do some kind of an analysis before you face the panel. You have to know about these functions of management. You have to understand the various career paths there. Only then you can hold the panel confidently when it comes to these questions. Number 8, don't glorify experiences dating back to formative years of schooling. The panel is more concerned about your recent past. They are more concerned about your abilities during your graduation stream, or if you are a fresh applicant, or your abilities while working, if you have been working for a while. But it will make no sense if you travel back in time and dig out something which happened in class 6th or 7th. We, however, do suggest that if you have some kind of a state or a zonal or a national achievement, then please showcase it. Right? Otherwise, it does not make sense to go back to once upon a time and share those achievements. You have to confine the panel to something which happened in the recent past, and you have to bring examples from that era itself. Number 9, don't contradict your own answers. We have seen students getting enmeshed in situations when they would have said something a while back, and then they would go on to contradict the same thing, and then it comes across as a lack of clarity and the student not being sure of what he or she is saying. So if you've given an answer, you hold on to it. However, if it's an opinion and the panel is able to put across an argument in the other direction, it is always recommended that you receive and accommodate those inputs. In that scenario, yes, you may modify your stand, but there has to be a method of doing it. You can't start with a no and then end up in a yes. If you are moving from one end to another, you have to explain why this happened. So random hip hop is not recommended. It comes across as a basic contradiction of what you've said. If you have to take the other stand, we suggest that never start off on a judgmental note, on a very strong note. Gradually evolve as somebody who can analyze, think, and put across a reasonable argument. Number 10, don't show a visible irritation in case you don't know the answer to a question. We have seen students visibly irritated, and if they are unfamiliar with respect to the situation at hand, or if they do not know the answer to a question, they will be visibly uncomfortable and they want to exit that particular situation. This is a stress situation. So you should know how to manage stress. You should know how to hold on to the situation for a while and plan the exit in a graceful and phased out manner. So don't look visibly disturbed if you are not sure about something. Number 11. Don't hold the panel at points which require a quick exit. Remember, there is something called an opportunity cost. If you are engaging the panel at a point where you are not sure about the answer, you will just get deeper and deeper into the mire, and you will waste the time in which you could have answered some other questions. So as a candidate who is looking forward to a management program, you need to understand the concept of opportunity cost. Make sure that the opportunity cost is minimal. Number 12. Don't get into unnecessary arguments. We have seen students getting into all kinds of arguments, more so if they are emotionally attached to a particular stand. For example, a political or a religious proposition where you have very strong views and the panel thinks otherwise, and you get into an argument which messes up the whole situation for you. We are not therefore saying that don't put across your point of view, but there is a method to the whole process. So if you feel that it is getting into a problem area, then you have to quickly plan the exit. Number 13, don't be judgmental about your own performance during the interview process. Now what happens is when the panel starts connecting with you, they start putting you through a sequence of questions. It is possible that you were not able to answer certain questions confidently, you were not sure about the answers. So that has a rub-off on your performance and it affects the answer to the next question, which otherwise you would have been confident handling, but now since you are stressed out, you may not be as confident. So what we suggest is treat every question like a separate opportunity and don't let the response to the previous question affect your response to the next question. You can do a better job if you're more balanced, if you're more poised. Number 14, don't blame your parents for career choices made by you. This is very typical. We have seen students telling the panel that, oh, I opted for engineering or commerce because my parents pushed me into it. Now, this is something which they will not buy in. It may have happened, but this is a situation. This is the time when you have to respect your parents. You have to respect your family. You have to show that association. You have to show that positivity when it comes to your parents and family members, and don't please paint them black. Be confident enough to own up the problems. If you got into a particular stream for whatever reasons, this is the time when you have to justify it. Just go back and see what positive things you can bring out from the entire experience and share that with the panel instead of sharing these wrong things. Number 15, don't make comments which are politically and religiously sensitive. Now, you do not know what is the mental fabric of the panelists, so do not get into trouble unnecessarily by making very harsh statements which may be taken otherwise. Do not make statements which are judgmental, which are classist, and which disturb the sentiments of others. You have to be very, very careful when you connect with the panel, and we suggest that you stay away from being a bit too judgmental and too vocal areas about these things. We hope that these 15 tips will give you an edge on that day and you will stay away from these popular don'ts. Best wishes.